Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. Former President Barack Obama is being described as the parasite of the modern Democratic Party in an all-new tell-all book about the 2020 election, saying that the former president used the party as a host for his re-election campaign. Joining us now to talk more about this book is the author of The Battle for the Soul Inside the Democrats' Campaigns to Defeat Donald Trump. Edward Isaac Dovere is joining us this morning. First of all, the book just came out. You really timed that well. I think it came out yesterday, right?
It did. Fresh on the shelves, and hope people pick it up. There's a lot in there, a huge number of stories that have never been told before. I was working on this book for 4 years, doing a lot of reporting based on over 400 interviews, spent a lot of time on the trail, a lot of time over dinners and phone calls, getting information, whether it's behind-the-scenes conversations or on-the-trail moments or emails, text messages between the people who were really in charge of putting the Democratic Party into the shape that it is now.
Yeah.
And of course, that's who's in power at this point.
So I have several questions about this. One is, I read this segment in the book, and I thought it was so fascinating. So the largest primary field in history, the primary for who would get the nomination, Joe Biden came out of that group. Yeah. Is the answer as simple as Joe Biden's president today because of coronavirus? Because we're talking about a 78-year-old who ran for president twice before, the first time back in 1988, and nobody thought he was actually a serious contender at age 77 at the time, but he came out and he got elected. Do we think it's because of the virus he was able to sort of stay in his basement in Delaware and not be on the trail actively?
It was one of the things that was going on, but there are a lot of things that went into this. I quote in the book towards the end some focus group data that was for Obama-Trump voters, those people who voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and in 2012, and then voted for Donald Trump in 2016. But in 2020, were undecided whether they were going to go with Trump or with Biden. And what their view was of Donald Trump was, they couldn't stand him. They didn't like him, but they thought he was good on the economy, could be the one trusted to take the economy into better shape once the coronavirus was through, but weren't confident at all that he could get anything done to solve the pandemic. They looked at Joe Biden and they said, this is a good man. I'm concerned that he's not the best on the economy. And I don't know about some of the things that are going on the left of the Democratic Party, like defund the police, things that the far left of the party is talking about. But he does seem like the one who can solve the coronavirus and get us out of the pandemic. And those voters broke more for Biden than for Trump. And what was, obviously Biden won the popular vote by a lot, by 7 million votes, but in 4 states, there was very close margins and could have, even with that popular vote margin, given the Electoral College went to Trump. Those kinds of voters are moved by the coronavirus. It obviously was a big factor in all of our lives and in every way, and was in the presidential election.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few years, and it's going to be interesting to see, quite frankly, if Joe Biden is even on the ballot in 2024. A very fascinating election, and the book is fascinating. It is Battle for the Soul Inside the Democrats' Campaigns to Defeat Trump. Very nice to have you on, Edward Isaac Dovere. Good to see you. Good luck with the book.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you.
All right, coming up on the show this morning, former Virginia State Senator, some sad news.